After I terminated our partnership, my campus belle ex-fiancée cried with regret to help a student from a poor background secure a partnership with a tech giant. My campus belle fiancée secretly handed over the core technology I had developed. On the day the deal was finalized, the student, Aiden Shaw, gloated on social media, the campus belle on my left arm, a major project in my right hand. This is what winning at life looks like. Everyone was waiting to laugh at me, the official boyfriend. Instead, I just threw down the patent certificates. OmniCore is actually willing to take on technology I scrapped 3 years ago. The project fell through. My fiancée, furious, threatened me, post a public apology immediately, or I'll make sure you can't survive in a city. I smiled at the row of tech executives standing behind me, waiting respectfully for me to start the meeting. It seemed she had forgotten that it was she who begged me for the seed money that even started Aiden's company. If I could bring it to life, I could certainly let it die. 1. Please, Mr. Coleman, I beg you, I'm truly innocent. Can't we just terminate the partnership? Aiden Shaw was on his knees, frantically slapping his own face. It was my negligence, my fault. I'm begging you, please don't sue my company. This was the scene I walked into when I arrived at the Shaw family's company. The breach of contract penalty for this project was $3 billion. For a nouveau riche family like the Shaws, they wouldn't be able to pay it off in 3 lifetimes. The contract explicitly states that you committed fraud first. Even if we terminate the partnership, you'll have to pay an even larger penalty, Mr. Coleman said, looking weary. Aiden's father, Gregory Shaw, backhanded him across the face, sending him sprawling to the floor. You disgraceful son, look at the mess you've made. Sincere, I'm begging you, just give me a way out. Give me the patent, and our whole family will be eternally grateful to you. Aiden actually crawled over and hugged my legs, his voice hoarse and his face wet with tears. He had always acted so high and mighty in front of me. I remember when Aiden was first starting his business, he didn't have a cent. It was Willow Reed who begged me to help him, which is how he got his startup capital. I had a soft spot for Willow, so I gave him $5 million and even let him use technology my team had worked so hard to develop, before I had even filed the patents. But later, after the Shaw family became powerful, not only did they compete with me for business, but they also tried to acquire my company. I stood with my hands clasped behind my back, ignoring Aiden's desperate pleas. Mr. Coleman, as for Mr. Shaw stealing my technology, proceed as you see fit. If I need to appear in court, I'm available any time. Mr. Coleman nodded with a slight smile. Hearing this, Aiden's expression changed instantly. You're really trying to drive me to my death, aren't you? He said grimly, his face filled with resentment. Who Willow chooses is her freedom. Are you really going to be this childish and use this to make things difficult for our family, Mr. Hamilton? So, in his eyes, I was only pursuing this legally because I was jealous. I frowned, and just as I was about to speak, Willow Reed rushed in like a whirlwind. Sincere Hamilton, get over here and explain to Mr. Coleman that all those patent certificates of yours are fake, Willow yelled, her face flushed with anger. Aiden immediately scurried behind her, his voice choked with emotion. Willow, my dear, did I get too close to you and make Mr. Hamilton angry? Is that why he's trying to ruin me? Willow tenderly stroked his swollen right cheek. Her gaze was sharp enough to cut me into 1,000 pieces. She gritted her teeth and said, It's just a patent. Do you have to be so petty? Are you not going to be happy until you've destroyed Aiden? I let out a sarcastic laugh, feeling my heart slowly turn to ice. Willow, you and he were the ones who stole my technology first. How did this become my fault? Looking at her face, she felt like a stranger. The girl who used to nestle by my side had long since thrown herself into another's arms. Knowing she was in the wrong, Willow softened her tone. I don't want to fight with you right now, but the Shaw family and Aiden absolutely cannot go down. If you don't want to admit the certificates are fake, then just transfer all the patents to the Shaw family. That's a solution that works for everyone. I had already made that mistake once. Now, even if I agreed, the team of over 100 people behind me would never allow it. We had been together for 8 years. Willow knew perfectly well how much effort I had poured into this core technology. And yet, with a single word from Aiden, she could command me to just hand it over. Not a chance, I said, enunciating each word. Willow was a little surprised. I had almost never contradicted her, and this was the first time I had defied her in front of others. If she hadn't pleaded with me on the phone today, I wouldn't have even come. This was the last bit of face I was giving her. Aiden tugged on Willow's hand. Willow, please don't fight with Mr. Hamilton because of me. Perhaps in Mr. Hamilton's eyes, a company like ours with no resources or connections is just supposed to take this kind of loss and shut up. If that's the case, a few years in prison is nothing. He gave a pained, bitter smile. Hearing this, Willow's heart practically melted with sympathy. How many times had he pulled this act? It only ever worked on Willow. Don't be afraid, Aiden. I won't let anything happen to you, she said, turning back to me. Since you're unwilling to show any decency, then you will stay out of this. I shrugged. The Shaw family company couldn't afford a $3 billion penalty even if they sold everything they owned. The only thing left for Aiden was prison. My secretary called to remind me that my private jet was ready. After giving some instructions at the office, I flew to the U.S. to negotiate a deal. A week later, the deal was successfully secured. As soon as I landed, I returned to the company, but strangely, the CEO's private elevator was out of service. The receptionist hurried over, stammering. It was Vice President Reed. She said the company will belong to Mr. Shaw from now on, so the CEO's elevator should be for his exclusive use. 2. I was so furious I almost laughed. I go on a business trip for 1 week, and the company I worked so hard to build now belongs to someone else. My face tightened. Why did no one inform me? The receptionist flinched. Vice President Reed said you've been too tired lately and wanted Mr. Shaw to help manage the company. She told everyone not to disturb you. This company, Apex Innovations, was something I founded with my team 3 years ago. It contained all my blood, sweat, and tears, and she just gave it away. I remembered the time she saw me drink until I had stomach bleeding at a dinner with a partner. She rushed me to the hospital on her electric scooter in the pouring rain. As I lay there on an IV drip, she cried in my arms, saying it broke her heart to see me work so hard. That's why she taught herself business management, to come to the company and share my burden. I never treated her poorly. I didn't want her to be just a simple assistant by my side. So I taught her how to negotiate deals, how to earn employees' respect, how to manage people. And step by step, I promoted her to the position of vice president. Because she was a woman, she was often questioned, faced obstacles, and was given a hard time. I protected her. I made it clear to the entire company that Willow Reed's word was my word, and anyone who dared to disobey could pack their things and leave. But it seemed she had forgotten how she got here. My heart was filled with a bitter sorrow. As I was about to head to the employee elevator, Aiden happened to come down, surrounded by a crowd of people. Among them were several of my own brothers who had fought alongside me from the beginning. CEO Shaw, the company is in your hands now. Just say the word CEO Shaw, and we'd die for you. I wonder when we'll get to toast at your and Vice President Reed's wedding. Listening to the same flattery I used to hear, he looked at me with contempt. Sorry, Mr. Hamilton. Oh, my mistake, I mean General Manager Hamilton. Willow said I'm younger and more capable, which is why she handed the company over to me. Aiden patted my shoulder as if to comfort me, the diamond ring flashing on his hand stinging my eyes. I recognized it. It was the $1 million ring I had a top designer create when I proposed to Willow. She was overjoyed when she received it, saying she would wear it for the rest of her life. But now, even the engagement ring was on Aiden's hand. No wonder those people were looking forward to a wedding. I looked at his smug, arrogant face, the rage inside me with no outlet. He was supposed to be in prison. How could he possibly have come up with $3 billion for the penalty in such a short time? Something was definitely off. Don't forget to put this month's financial report on my desk, he ordered condescendingly. As he walked past me, bumping my shoulder, a photograph fell out. My heart leaped in shock. It was a photo of him and Willow with a little boy, who looked to be about 2 years old. 3. His assistant quickly picked it up and handed it to him respectfully. The smugness on Aiden's face deepened. "General Manager Hamilton, you're a man of great knowledge. They say in ancient times, a mother's status rose with her son. Do you think the same principle applies to a father?" I stared at the photo, at the boy's face which bore a resemblance to both of them. My fists at my sides clenched so tight my knuckles turned white. A rush of blood went straight to my head. I remembered 2 years ago, in order to make my company stand out in the market, I went to the US for nearly a year of training. By that calculation, she must have been pregnant before I even left the country. I felt like I had plunged into an icy cellar. I had to suppress the inferno of rage inside me just to keep from losing my composure. The onlookers gasped, all of them settling in to watch the drama unfold. I glanced at him coolly. Whether man or woman, those who use a child to climb will always be clinging vines, never a mighty oak. Aiden's face darkened slightly as he put the photo back in his pocket. He leaned in and whispered in my ear, "It's too early to be drawing conclusions." I ignored him and stepped into the elevator. The moment I entered my office, Willow threw her arms around me. "Didn't you say you were going to check on the project team? How are you back so soon?" For a split second, she realized who she was holding and quickly pushed me away. "I thought you were— Why are you back early?" she asked, turning away to tidy some documents, a hint of guilt in her voice. Everything in my office was gone. The decor had been changed to Aiden's preferred style. "You thought I was Aiden?" She didn't answer but turned back to hug me again. "Oh, come on, I just think of Aiden as a little brother. Don't be jealous, okay?" "Is it necessary to give your little brother an engagement ring?" I asked, not even having the heart to expose her clumsy lies. Willow pouted, her voice turning coquettish. "Aiden's just a bit childish. He wants whatever he sees. I just let him wear it for a couple of days to play with. He's just a simple, big-hearted boy. There's nothing more to it." She wrapped her arms around my neck and tried to kiss my lips. I fought back a wave of nausea and turned my head away. I let him come to our company to give him some experience. We never had opportunities like this when we were starting out. Isn't it good to let young people try new things? Besides, you, my husband, are the real CEO of this company. Aiden is just holding the title in name only. His family's company is in trouble, so he's just here to learn a thing or two. Seeing that I wasn't saying anything, Willow tried to be seductive, undoing my tie. "We're about to get married. Don't you have any sense of security with me? I've already thought it all out. Once we're married and settled, we'll adopt a child, a happy family of 3. My heart was numb. This was the happiness I had once dreamed of. She had said she was afraid of childbirth, so she wanted to adopt. I loved her so much that I agreed, promising that even if the child was adopted, I would treat them as my own. But now, it seemed her plan was for us to adopt her and Aiden's child, making me the ultimate scapegoat. It was the perfect solution for her. I took her hand and gave a faint smile. "Fine." Willow was overjoyed. "The company anniversary is in 3 days. Why don't we go to the children's home the company sponsors and pick a child then? I just happened to see a very well-behaved little boy there the other day." I continued to smile, tucking a strand of her hair behind her ear. "Whatever you want. 3 days is not a long time. Willow Reed, just you wait." 4. Willow personally oversaw the arrangements for this year's anniversary celebration, inviting nearly every tech company and business journalist in a city. When it was time for the CEO's address, Willow stopped me. "Give Aiden a chance to practice." Aiden's speech was delivered as if he were the CEO, and everyone praised him for being so young and promising, managing 2 companies at once. "We hear you have a very close relationship with Vice President Reed. Could you tell us more about it?" a reporter asked. Aiden's gaze lingered on Willow. Willow was our campus belle. Of course, I've admired her for a long time. He openly declared his feelings in front of everyone, and at some point, Willow had moved to stand by his side. Her dress and his tie were a matching color scheme. Standing side by side, One journalist even praised them as a match made in heaven. It made Willow blush and her heart flutter. Aiden wrapped his arm around Willow's slender waist, looking proudly at me in the distance. Willow, for her part, leaned into his embrace as if she had no bones, completely ignoring me, her fiancée. He spoke of the hardships of his entrepreneurial journey and Willow's unwavering support, but he never once mentioned the huge amount of startup capital and technical resources I had given him. I solemnly promise here today that as long as Willow says yes, Aiden Shaw, will give her a lifetime of happiness. Aiden's words even brought tears to Willow's eyes. I felt like a ridiculous outsider. The Shaw family stocks soared. A reporter asked why the two of them weren't together. Willow finally looked at me, saying with a playful pout, because the right person had already arrived first. She led me onto the stage. Thank you to all our colleagues and friends from the press for being here today. Sincere and I have set our wedding for next month. The invitations will be sent out tomorrow, and we hope to see you all there. Waves of blessings erupted from the crowd. I heard Vice President Reed and Mr. Hamilton have been together from campus to the wedding aisle. How romantic, yes. Not only is Mr. Hamilton handsome, but the patents his team has filed could stack up taller than a building. What a shame. What a shame. I was hoping to set Mr. Hamilton up with my daughter. The tech magnates who came were all people I dealt with, and they held a high opinion of a rising star like me. I couldn't count how many company bosses had beaten a path to my door, hoping for a marriage alliance. Thank you all for your blessings. I have one more announcement to make, Willow said, holding my hand, a smug look on her face as she looked down at the disappointed heiresses in the audience. Sincere knows how difficult childbirth would be for me, so we've decided to adopt a child from the Blue Sky Orphanage, which our company sponsors. A nanny brought the little boy in, and both Willow and Aiden looked at him with eyes full of affection. She took the child. Sweetheart, say daddy. The camera flashes from the reporters below were blinding. In a corner, Aiden secretly held up the photograph to taunt me while Willow wore a blissful expression. Sincere, hurry up and hold our son. I ignored Willow's urging. Instead, I took the microphone and announced loudly, as the CEO of Apex Innovations, I hereby declare that from this moment on, Willow Reed will no longer hold any position within this company. All capital investment in the Shaw Corporation is to be frozen immediately. I, Sincere Hamilton, do not raise vipers. As soon as these words were spoken, the crowd erupted in an uproar. I loosened my tie and added with a cold smile, as for the wedding, shoving a bastard child in my face, do you and your son think you're worthy of even bearing the Hamilton name? 5. Willow was completely stunned. She stood frozen, her whole body stiff, and even accidentally dropped the child on the floor. What are you talking about, Sincere? What bastard? She stammered, not daring to look me in the eye, her whole body trembling. Aiden rushed forward to pick up the child. Mr. Hamilton, even if you don't like this child, you don't have to slander him like this. Willow subtly pushed Aiden away, her face stained with tears as she looked at me. Sincere, there are so many people here today. Can you please not throw a tantrum? Quick, tell everyone you were just speaking out of anger. Otherwise, this will be embarrassing for everyone. Can't you just think of the big picture for a moment? Hearing her words, the sarcasm in my heart intensified. You try to steal my company, you try to make me a scapegoat, and you still want me to think of the big picture. Willow Reed, you really know how to play your cards. I scanned the room and said coolly, the board of directors has already unanimously approved the decision to remove Ms. Reed from her position. The investment in the Shaw Corporation was my personal asset. I have every right to withdraw it. As for this child, I think you should all ask Ms. Reed and Mr. Shaw. A commotion broke out below the stage, and the camera flashes never stopped. My God, wasn't the Shaw Corporation built from the ground up by Aiden Shaw? It turns out it was funded by Sincere Hamilton. I heard rumors that this Ms. Reed was getting a little too close to Aiden Shaw, whom she was sponsoring, but I never thought they had a child. Isn't this just using Mr. Hamilton as a patsy? And Aiden Shaw was the so-called nominal CEO of Apex? This is a classic case of trying to devour the whole family fortune. Aiden dropped to his knees before me. Mr. Hamilton, it's not like that, please. Don't blame Willow. It's all my fault because you invested in my company. I should have been. Your loyal dog for life, it's all my fault. My fault. He started slapping himself frantically, trying to make everyone think I was forcing him, just like before. But the people in the audience were not as foolish as Willow. Of course, they wouldn't be deceived by his clumsy acting. But now Willow couldn't be bothered to feel sorry for him. This is impossible, she said, looking at me in disbelief. The members of the board clearly. In her mind, the board members had already completely submitted to her. How could they have unanimously approved this decision? I smirked, stuffing my hands in my pockets. You don't really think I've been messing around for all these years, do you? Those old-timers on the board were as shrewd as they come. How could they betray me based on just a few words from her? Sincere Hamilton, she gritted her teeth. You set me up? 6. I patted her on the shoulder. All's fair in war. I seem to recall teaching you that myself. Seeing that she had been exposed, she decided to throw caution to the wind. On what grounds I was with you all the way from nothing to something, what right do you have to fire me? Even if I don't have credit, I have hard work. I own a part of Apex Innovations. You can't just cast aside the wife who was with you from the beginning, Sincere Hamilton. Aren't you afraid of divine retribution? Ha! I lowered my gaze, a cold smile on my face. Just the fact that you and Aiden Shaw stole company technology is enough to get you blacklisted from the industry and thrown in jail. Or do you feel that being fired isn't a severe enough punishment? I never thought I would one day say such harsh words to the woman I once loved so deeply. Besides anger, my heart was filled with a deep, sour ache. I didn't know when she had become this person. Willow looked up and met my gaze, her eyes showing not a trace of remorse. So what, the matter has been perfectly resolved. You can't do anything to us. She pointed her finger at my nose and shouted, You, the great Mr. Hamilton, making wild accusations about a small child. Is this how Apex Innovations operates? What evidence do you have that this is mine and Aiden's child? I'm going to sue you for slander. She was probably so angry she was just spouting nonsense. I hadn't wanted to embarrass her so much in public, but she walked right into the line of fire. I rubbed my brow and signaled to my assistant behind me. He understood my cue, took a file and went backstage. The large screen lit up again, cycling through a slideshow of security footage, showing her and Aiden entering and leaving the orphanage together, along with a signed testimony from the old director confirming the child was theirs. At the same time, a paternity test report for the child and them was displayed. How could you? From the moment I saw that photograph, I had already contacted my mole who was close to Aiden and Willow to get their DNA samples. As for the orphanage, it was Willow who had told me she couldn't bear to see those children suffer, and that's how she got the funding from me to sponsor it. So for the past 2 years, she'd been using the money I earned to raise her child with another man. I was the ultimate fool. It's fake. It's all fake. It was you, Sincere Hamilton. It's all a scheme you designed to kick me out of the company. Willow shrieked like a shrew. The reporters and colleagues below were all looking at her with contempt. Ah ha ha. She suddenly threw her head back and laughed. You may have your schemes, Sincere, but I have my own ways of getting over the wall. She walked up to me, chin held high. If you get on your knees and apologize to me right now, I might consider giving you $1 million to live out your golden years. Otherwise, don't blame me for disregarding our many years of history. I frowned slightly, not understanding what she meant. Did you think you were the only one who came prepared? I have you to thank, Mr. Hamilton, for all those years of training. You taught me to always have a backup plan. Her cold gaze swept across the room, finally settling on me. Her red lips parted slightly. Leo Powers, the CEO of Omnicore, is my godfather. What does Apex even count for? 7. A collective gasp went through the crowd. Omnicore Technologies isn't just a giant in a city. It's the absolute hegemon in the global AI tech field. There's a saying in a city, CEO Leo Powers is the true kingmaker for Willow Reed to have a connection with Omnicore's Leo Powers. It looks like Mr. Hamilton is going to lose today. Listening to the crowd's murmurs, Willow lifted her chin arrogantly. She looked towards the main entrance, where a group of men in black suits were escorting Leo Powers in. "Who's been bullying my goddaughter?" With that one sentence, the entire hall fell silent. Everyone was both respectful and fearful of this so-called CEO Powers. Aiden scurried over to my side, holding the child out to me. "How does it feel to be a cuckold? Your company, your woman. From today on, they'll all be mine." I watched with a faint smile as Willow fawningly greeted Leo Powers. Some of the braver guests whispered among themselves, "Mr. Hamilton is really finished today. Such a talent, what a pity he offended Mr. Powers. How dare you speak so carelessly with Mr. Powers here? Aren't you afraid of getting your own company blacklisted?" Sigh, Willow Reed and Aiden Shaw played this move too ruthlessly. I took a closer look. So, it was him, the puppet CEO I had installed at headquarters. Because Omnicore was too powerful, countless people had put a price on my head on the black market. For my own safety, I had someone find a puppet like Leo Powers to be the public face. All of Omnicore's real work was handled abroad and then sent back. He was only responsible for coming and going from the office and attending staged fake meetings. Leo Powers put his arm around Willow's shoulder, a cigar between his fingers, and swaggered onto the stage with his potbelly. "So you're that Apex CEO? Starting today, Apex Innovations is being acquired by Omnicore. The position of CEO will be taken over by Willow Reed." "Oh my gosh, thank you, Godfather." She planted a heavy kiss on Leo's cheek. Watching Willow's triumphant expression, I almost couldn't stop myself from laughing. "What? Can't smile later, so you're getting it all out now?" Willow raised an eyebrow at me. Aiden fanned Leo Powers obsequiously. "Mr. Powers, you have to teach this sincere Hamilton a lesson. He thinks he can create a monopoly just because he has a few tech patents. He even dared to interfere with Omnicore's partnership." Leo glanced in my direction and then spat on the floor. "Kid, you're the one who made my godson-in-law lose $3 billion? Don't you know who calls the shots in a city? I'm standing right here today, with the entire Omnicore Technologies behind me. Are you tired of doing business, or are you tired of living?" As soon as Leo spoke, his bodyguards surrounded me. The atmosphere instantly grew tense. "Looks like Mr. Hamilton's story ends here tonight. If you mess with Omnicore, you can only blame yourself." I looked at Leo and spoke calmly. "I wonder, Mr. Powers, before making a move here today, did you ask for permission from the man behind you?" Leo's body trembled for a moment, his brow furrowed in suspicion, before he let out a cold snort. "Kid, you dare to bluff me. I have the entire Omnicore behind me. Who else is there? If you're trying to stall for time, I suggest you save your energy. Today, you're giving up the CEO position at Apex. Whether you want to or not, men pin this clueless brat down for me." Willow stood before me, her chin slightly raised, a faint mocking smile on her lips, her eyes filled with derision. "If you can kneel before everyone and apologize to me and Aiden, I might ask my godfather for mercy and let you be a security guard at Apex. I'm not as heartless as you, sincere Hamilton." I said nothing. This woman was no longer the person I once wanted to spend my life with. Just as the bodyguards were about to make their move, a steady, commanding voice cut through the air. "Whoever dares to touch my son today has a death wish." 8. Everyone turned around in astonishment. My God, that's the founder of Omnicore Technologies, Cyrus Westwood, the old master himself. Did he just call Sincere Hamilton his son? I thought Mr. Westwood never married or had children. I grew up in an orphanage sponsored by Mr. Westwood. He discovered my talent for research and development 10 years ago, secretly adopted me as his godson, and began training me as his successor. He wanted me to temper myself through my own efforts, so for the past decade we never publicly revealed our true relationship. After I founded Apex Innovations, he was extremely satisfied with my abilities and formally handed over the management of OmniCore to me. I went forward to help him walk over. "Father, I've made a fool of myself in front of you." He nodded slightly. "I'm here to clean house. You should watch and learn." Seeing my father, Leo Power's legs went weak with fear. Mr. Westwood." My father narrowed his eyes and sat in the seat of honor. Leo was so terrified he wet his pants. "Number 78, you are merely one of my disposable agents. Since when did you learn to borrow the tiger's might?" I wouldn't dare, Mr. Westwood," he stammered, his hands shaking as he looked at me. "Young Master Westwood, it was I who was blind and failed to recognize your greatness. You are a man of great magnanimity, I beg you. Please don't let the old master send me to Africa." He banged his forehead on the ground until it was bleeding, refusing to stop. It was Willow Reed who seduced me. I was bewitched and made a terrible mistake. This was all her idea. And the $3 billion compensation, she told me to transfer some of OmniCore's assets and some of Apex's assets to cover it. I was confused. He was a man with no brains. He confessed everything before he was even asked. Willow collapsed to the ground, her eyes vacant. "Sincere Hamilton, how could you be? We were together for so many years. What else have you been hiding from me?" Now she remembered we had so many years of history together. I took a signed document from my assistant and handed it to her. "And this, the wedding gift I originally intended for you. This document included the transfer of all shares in Apex Innovations and 30% of the shares in OmniCore Technologies. I had planned to give it to her as a surprise on our wedding day. After all, with real power in her hands, a woman would have more security. I wanted her to always feel safe by my side." The signature was already turning yellow, because I had started preparing it from the day I took over OmniCore. Willow caressed the document, her eyes filled with endless regret. She frantically looked for a pen. "I'll sign it now. Can I sign it now, Sincere? Our wedding is still on. Please, I'm begging you, forgive me this one time. Let's just pretend none of this ever happened, okay?" "It's too late, Willow Reed." I pulled the document from her hand and, before her despairing eyes, mercilessly tore it into shreds. "No," Willow shrieked, watching helplessly as her happiness was annihilated. "When you and Aiden Shaw were in bed making a baby. When you were plotting to steal my company. Willow, did you ever think about me in the business world of Los Angeles, drinking myself into a stupor, even ending up in the ICU several times?" Willow tremblingly opened the memo app on her phone. "Sincere, look, from the day we got together, I secretly kept a list of things to buy for our wedding. Because you were always busy, I would organize it once a year. I really truly loved you. I was just momentarily foolish. Please forgive me this one time, okay?" I glanced at it coldly. She had kept the list from the first year we met until the 5th. The first year it said to rent a mermaid-style wedding dress. By the 5th year it said to order a custom Dior haute couture gown. I chuckled, my voice tinged with a faint bitterness. "So why did you stop recording?" 9. The 6th year was the year she met Aiden Shaw. From that point on, her heart and eyes were filled with nothing but him. Willow stammered, taking 2 steps back. "I was just so busy then, that's why." "Stop lying to yourself, Willow." "No, Sincere, I just thought Aiden was very hard-working back then, just like you when I first met you. I just wanted to take care of him a little more." When she first met Aiden, he had been caught stealing from the campus convenience store and was being held at the door by the owner, mocked by other students. Willow said his helpless look reminded her of me, and she couldn't bear it. At that time, our business had already achieved some success, so we decided to sponsor him. Her words had no effect on me. Were you looking for my shadow in him, or were you looking for a thrill? You know the answer in your own heart. If it wasn't love, then why would you get pregnant and give birth to the child? Willow was speechless, but still refused to admit her mistake. Aiden tricked me. He secretly poked holes in the condoms, that's how But the child is innocent. How could I bear to abort him? The crowd, now knowing the truth, sighed with contempt. Cheating is cheating. Stop trying to make it sound so noble. People who betray true love should be punished. Cheaters never find fault in themselves, they only torture others. Willow was scorned by everyone, with nowhere to hide. At this moment, Aiden knelt before me again. "Mr. Hamilton, young Master Westwood, I was forced by Willow Reed. She told me you were always on business trips and couldn't be with her, so she asked me to come and comfort her at night. I'm a man too. In a moment of weakness, Afterwards, she threatened me not to say anything and promised to make me the CEO of Apex. That's when I developed evil intentions. Please help me. I really don't want to be controlled by her anymore. Let me stay by your side, even as a beast of burden. Just pretend you've adopted a dog you can take the Shaw Corporation to. I just beg you to let me go." Willow looked at the turncoat Aiden in disbelief. "You animal, you were the one who said you felt sorry for me, that I had suffered for so long with Sincere. You said you loved my intelligence and beauty. You're spewing lies," Aiden retorted. I just quietly watched the two of them tear each other apart, and the crowd of onlookers enjoyed the show. "Why don't you tell everyone how you used Mr. Hamilton's money to pay for men outside? You've had a few secret abortions too, haven't you?" My dear Willow. I would later learn that Willow, in her pursuit of new thrills, after giving birth to Aiden's child, had been cheating on Aiden with other men. 10. The two of them tore each other's masks off in front of everyone. Willow muttered, lost in a daze, "Aiden Shaw, did you ever love me at all? That day after I saved you from the convenience store, I gave you a hug behind the sports field. You told me later that it was the first hug you had ever received from someone other than your mother. You said you were so moved that you wanted to be good to me for a lifetime, to give me a lifetime of happiness. Was all of that fake too?" Willow's voice was choked and hoarse. Aiden didn't even listen carefully, instead wearing a mocking, nonchalant expression. "Love you? Are you worthy?" "To be honest, Willow, in this world only Sincere Hamilton ever loved you." But that was in the past. Willow looked at me, her former lover. Our eyes met, and all that remained was disappointment. Suddenly she lunged off the stage, grabbed a fruit knife, and charged at Aiden. "Then you can just go to hell," Aiden reacted quickly, snatching the child from the nanny and using him as a shield. "If you dare to kill me, I'll strangle this child." Willow's eyes flickered. The hand holding the knife loosened for a moment, then tightened again. He should never have come into this world in the first place. The moment she lunged forward, I immediately grabbed her and held her tight. Willow Reed get a grip. Her body went limp, a bit of clarity returning to her eyes. She took the opportunity to hug me. "You're worried about me, aren't you? So you still love me, don't you?" I let go of her. "Willow, we're over." She collapsed weakly to the ground. Aiden quickly dropped the child and tried to run out of the hall. My father's bodyguards caught the child and kicked Aiden to the floor. Police officers swarmed in, taking them away one by one. This entire farce was broadcast live by all the reporters. The Shaw stock plummeted. The company was acquired by Omnicore, and the Shaw family went bankrupt. A month later, I received a call from the police station. When I saw Willow Reed again, she was a completely different person. Her once waist-long hair was now cut short to her ears, sticking up like dry grass. Her cheeks were sunken, and her thin prison uniform was stretched taut over her sharp, bony shoulder blades. "Long time no see," I said, breaking the silence. Her lips opened and closed, but no words came out. "Are you doing well?" she finally asked in a hoarse voice. I won an award for excellence in cleaning today. In college, we used to walk on the sports field after dinner, and she would tell me about the praise she had received or the awards she had won, waiting for me to praise her effusively. Seeing my silence, the light in Willow's eyes dimmed. "Well, keep up the good work." At my words, a spark of hope seemed to ignite in her again. "If I can get my sentence reduced, will you take me back? It's only 7 years. 7 years will pass quickly. Sincere. Will you wait for me?" I took a red envelope from my bag and had the guard pass it to her. I gave a faint smile. "I'm getting married next month. I'm moving to the US and I won't be coming back." Willow, 7 years is not a short time. And you personally destroyed our 8 years. There's no room for you in my heart anymore. She was silent for a long time. I stood up to leave. A moment later, a heart-wrenching sob echoed from behind me. A month later, in the United States, my father and many friends and relatives came to attend my wedding. The bride was Isabel Vance, the daughter of a family friend, a tall, elegant Chinese-American girl who studied art. We walked hand in hand down the aisle, a gentle breeze blowing past. I still have many 7 years ahead of me. The end.